it only took 5 minutes for somebody to bring up Canelo. Most people believe that Golovkin beat Canelo both times. Do you think the ghost of Canelo is ever going to leave Golovkin alone unless he knocks him out?
I think the third fight will be different than the first two because I think that we know what has to be done in order to, especially if it's in Vegas. But I think it's a fight that will answer a lot of questions. A lot of people think that we won. Right now, Danny Jacobs and Canelo are fighting in the consolation bracket because Gennady's beaten both of them. So, but I would love to see it just so that we put those ghosts to rest. We put all those things to rest, and a trilogy usually defines two fighters, and I think that trilogy will define these fighters' careers.
Obviously, there's no opponent for Golovkin yet, but with DAZN, you have the most top middleweights with Andrade, Canelo, and Jacobs. Would you guys want the winner of Canelo Triple G, Canelo Jacobs, or would you guys rather go with someone who you guys haven't fought before, which is Andrade?
Well, as a coach and as somebody's going to have Gennady in the gym, he hasn't been in a fight since September. Canelo had three tough fights in a row, and then he fights Fielding. We had 3 fights in a row too that were tough, and there's no reason why I would want to put Gennady in a fight that's not necessary for the first fight. He's been out of the gym. He will have been almost 9 months before he gets back in the ring. So if I have my say, it'll be somebody that's not at that level, but a little bit below that level, just like Canelo did with Rocky Fielding. It'll be better than Rocky Fielding, though.
So you said a lower level. Who do you guys have in mind? I know you guys haven't met up yet to talk about it, but anyone in particular that stands out?
We have to sit down with Tom Loeffler, and Tom Loeffler and Gennady and I will sit down and we'll discuss. We have 4 or 5 names in mind, but until we do, it's kind of premature to say it, but Tom Loeffler has to be involved in that conversation.
For some reason recently, there was a lot of rumors that Tom had left Golovkin, or that Golovkin had left Tom. Where did that even come from?
A lot of reliable sources that are a bunch of liars. Okay, that's what people say in the interviews. Is reliable sources told me that this Gennady Golovkin has been negotiating with all these companies because Gennady Golovkin is going to be a promoter after he finishes his career. Tom Loeffler, first of all, Gennady Golovkin has never been promoted by anybody. He's always been promoted by GG Promotions. We had partners, like K2 was a partner with Gennady, and DAZN is a partner now. But GGG Promotions promotes Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin, in the deal that he made with DAZN, got two shows in the first year and 2 shows in the second year, besides his fights, to be able to move his fighters. The promoter for those fighters is Tom Loeffler. Tom Loeffler is the managing director of GGG Promotions, and I'm the coach. So they're going to be in my gym, and Tom's going to be promoting them. We have Ali Akhmedov that fights the 24th of this month for Tom at the Avalon Theater. And Gennady and I and Tom will be looking to sign more other fighters to GGG Promotions so that we can move them on those shows, not only in Gennady shows, but also on the 2 additional shows that we have every year.
Before, Canelo was very vocal about not liking belts. He wasn't doing it for the belts. Now he's moving to unify. I asked him why was that? Why the sudden interest in belts? You said to everyone else about how they're fighting for literally Triple G's belts. Yeah. What do you think of that now that he is trying to get belts? And do you think Triple G is still trying to get the belt? Is that he wanted to become undisputed? Is that still at this time in his career? Is that still the goal?
Unfortunately, the politics of this game don't allow for that. But if guys want to fight for a belt, that's great. If it's a fight that the people want, then that's okay. But I think that the best fights need to be made, whether it's for a belt or not. Sometimes the organizations have all these restrictions on what you can and can't do, and just like when Gennady got stripped of the IBF, and then they have 2 guys, Jacobs and Derevchenko, fight that nobody was interested in. Yeah. I think we have to make fights that the fans want to see first, and the belts be second.
Okay. Lastly, obviously you say he hasn't been in camp in a while. What's going to be the first thing?
He was in camp not this Thursday, but last Thursday, and he was in camp for a week, and then he had this stuff to do at the end of last week to be able to do this meeting today. But he's been in camp. He's going to be going back to camp tonight.
I think the only thing people criticize about both of his matches against Canelo was the lack of body work. Is that something you guys are going to try to implement now on any fight?
No. There's a lot of geniuses, unfortunately. Just because he performed one way in a fight doesn't mean Canelo didn't throw nobody shots like he did against Fielding or like he did against what's his name, the English young man,
Smith.
Smith. Yeah. So sometimes the fight doesn't lend itself for body punching. There was very little body punching in the first one too, because the styles just don't lend themselves to that. But if it's available, of course. But whatever they see inside is not what necessarily what you and I or people on the outside see. It's whatever they see that they're going to do, regardless of whatever anybody thinks.
Thank you so much, Abel, for your time. Thank you.